So here we go, getting ready for this start. We're going to try and pick out where everyone is. Matteo Iachino likes to start down that pin end. It usually means you're confident in your speed. Jordi Vonk also down that pin end on the duotone, golden kind of black sail. But it is Iachino right going for the pin. Jordi Vonk's going to get a good start here though up that top end. NICO PRIEN with a great start. Benoit Mercer a little bit further back. Then we've got in the middle Lohan Jewel. It looks like it's him who's leading the S2 Maui cell with Tristan Algray a bit further back. And then Amado Vrieswijk in the middle. But look, keep your eye on NICO PRIEN. He's coming from the top. We've seen a few of those boys just powering down, and NICO PRIEN, he looked on death's door earlier. He wasn't feeling well, but he is absolutely flying. The German coming into the first mark, but he's got Matteo Iachino underneath him, and he isn't going to budge an inch. Matteo Iachino goes round in first. NICO PRIEN has to go through the weight. Iachino going super low like usual. NICO PRIEN has a better line out of that jibe mark. Jordi Vonk still going. Amado Vrieswijk is in the game. Lohan Jewel is also there. Benoit Mercer a bit further back with Amado Vrieswijk. This is all to play for here. NICO PRIEN going for the win. It's going to be very interesting, this sausage, because it's going to be hard fought, no doubt about it. Second jibe mark coming up. PRIEN leading. Safely round from PRIEN. Good jibe. Oh, it's a better jibe though from Iachino. He almost parks it straight into the back of him. Jordi Vonk struggling to get going on this inside as Lohan Jewel goes underneath him. Amado Vrieswijk also struggling to get going. It's the two Pride boys out in front, and Matteo Iachino seems to have got his nose ahead here. He seems to have just edged ahead of PRIEN, but PRIEN is fighting back. PRIEN is definitely fighting back, and the race for third is right on between Amado Vrieswijk, Lohan Jewel and Jordi Vonk. There's a freeway battle. Matteo Iachino has not given up, and I think PRIEN has. PRIEN has given in. He knows he's not going to go underneath him, so he's going for a better line into this jibe mark, and it's the Italian, the event leader. 2 bullets out of 2. Could he make it 3 out of 3? He is looking in unstoppable form right now, Matteo Iachino. It's Lohan Jewel who goes round in third though. Oh, and no, it's Jimmy Diaz. Jimmy Diaz, it's Jimmy TMA taking out Vonk, and Benoit Mercer comes underneath all the carnage. And Benoit Mercer is right back in it. He is having a hell of an event, but the sausage, it could cause a massive drama in this race. He's been looking so good over the sausage so far. He slows down and he just sails over it. Just easy little jump there for Matteo Iachino. Great jump from PRIEN as well. These boys are looking in such good control. Lohan Jewel, not his favourite part of the race this. Oh, it's sketchy, but he makes it. Benoit Mercer goes upwind almost into Amado Vrieswijk. Lohan Jewel gets round. Benoit Mercer, he's got a good jibe on him, but so is Amado Vrieswijk. There's going to be a good battle here. Benoit sailing so good at this event, really in the mix, but out in front. 3 bullets surely after 3. 3 out of 3 for the Italian so far. Just got to make it down another couple of 100 meters. And meanwhile, at a little bit further back, Amado Vrieswijk battling with Benoit Mercer for that 4th place, I think it is. We'd have to have a look, but it is going to be 3 out of 3. Bang, bang, bang. Matteo Iachino is looking in unstoppable form right now. Impressive stuff. NICO PRIEN, solid result for him in second. And then Lohan Jewel, what a race from the Guadeloupean. 3rd place for Lohan Jewel, and then Amado Vrieswijk.
Here we go. Hello guys, hope you are doing well. Such nice memories from Fuerteventura. A nice waiting screen for you guys before we are live. I'm Nico, in case you don't know. Right beside me, it's Lars.
Cheers, guys.
Who handles most of the stuff behind the camera. For those who are new here, I think most of you tuning in probably know what we do. But yeah, just a little intro. We wanted to re-establish the live stream. We've done one a couple of weeks ago, and we want to get kind of the hang of it and give frequent updates, give you guys the opportunity to ask questions, to show you what has been going on lately, and yeah, deep dive into some things that maybe YouTube videos are a little bit too short for. Have a conversation with you guys, so relax, sit down, I don't know, put the headphones in, put the phone away, or in case you want to see what we're doing, leave the phone on to yeah, to walk through some stuff with us. First of all, we want to do a PWA Fuerteventura recap, how it was for us, how the days before were, the actual event, the wind conditions, the equipment, the races, the fights, maybe also the level up from last year for me, the mental aspect to it, maybe a bit the editing the videos and
We can also talk about that a bit, yeah.
all the behind the scenes stuff, and then of course whatever you guys are interested in. So this is we're gonna keep this as interactive as possible. I have the chat open and I can see what you guys are writing to us. So first of all, let us know where you're from. I see here greetings from Greece. I see Germans. Let us know where you're tuning in from. This is always the most special part for us, to see how many people we bring together from which kind of countries. Yeah. So we have my girlfriend Simona tuning in from Tenerife. Poland, Netherlands, Finland, Switzerland, Turkey. That's funny. My chat is doing AI translation. So actually, Turkey says Truthahn. You know the animal turkey?
Yeah.
It gives me the German translation.
It translates to the animal and not the country.
Wait, where can I turn that off?
I think that might be a browser thing.
Damn it. Okay, we'll have to look into that later. That's really strange. Okay, I was wondering, why is everyone speaking German in the chat? I was really wondering.
Only the Germans here.
Yes, Michigan.
No, it's not actually.
Michigan, Berlin, Sweden.
Some Germans.
Yeah, England, Florida, Greece, Germany. So that's awesome to see. Yeah, so like I said, that's always super special for us that we can bring a big windsurfing community together. And we also have a MP7 WhatsApp chat, which is always super active. Do we have that linked by any chance in the? So for those of you who are not in the WhatsApp chat yet, you can join us. We will add it to the links under this video. And I think a lot of the guys here watching are coming from that chat as well. Yes, so like I said, Fuerteventura, short recap. We're gonna walk through a full race POV because I saw some comments who wanted to see a full race, just a POV of it. This is obviously something special that we've been doing over the last 2 years. Film a race with an action cam on the helmet. Obviously nobody wants to do that because it's heavy, it's bothersome, and it can have an impact on your performance. But the way we do it, it doesn't really have any impact, at least not a negative. More so a positive, because you guys can see what it feels like being in the race. So you now have the WhatsApp chat here linked in the chat in case you want to join. I actually have to accept you into the chat because we had some strange bots trying to come in, so I made it manual acceptance. It helps if you have a windsurf picture as a profile picture on WhatsApp, because then I know you're probably not a bot. So yes, full POV will be great. Exactly, that's what we're going into. So starting, and again, please put your questions in the chat. That's the best for us, because then we can keep it interactive and go into what you guys want to know. How it was for us, obviously, the most epic windsurf event of the year.
And the hardest one of the year.
And the hardest one? Well, maybe just after Defi. Maybe the Defi was the most epic this year.
Yeah, I think that's hard to beat for this year.
But how lucky we are to have a super windy Defi wind and a super windy Fuerteventura.
Well, Fuerte has been windy ever since.
That's true.
Over the last years, I never, since I'm doing this, I never had a Fuerte without wind. Like maybe a day at most.
And it's so crazy because the forecast in Fuerteventura, the way it works is you look on the wind guru page and you're like, in 3 or 4 days, it's not going to be windy anymore. Only the next 2-3 days are going to be windy.
Well, it's still 15-20 knots.
Yeah, okay, well, any day you have 15-20 knots, but it shows you the next 3 days, 30 knots full power.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you move 1 day further, the wind forecast for after picks up as well. So basically, the closer to you get to the day of the forecast, the windier the forecast for that day
better
gets.
it gets.
So in fact, when we started the event, we were kind of like, oh, damn, we're going to have pretty light wind at the end of the event. And we ended up racing in 30 plus knots every day. So it's been super windy. We've been very, very lucky. Also the windiest most consistent windy event I have ever participated in windsurfing. That's something special. And so of course the races were epic. I arrived a couple of days before. I took a rental car from Tenerife, drove over with a ferry. Lars flew in straight to Fuerteventura. I picked him up from the airport, and I spent a few days before to obviously trim my gear, tune my gear, get used to the conditions, because the conditions are very special. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Very different from most other spots. I as you might have seen in the videos, I have been a little bit sick before the event. We traveled to Mauritius and Madagascar. Those are the
Videos will come.
videos will come.
And
Lars
it was
is on it.
epic.
It was epic. It was absolutely epic, but Madagascar has been a bit hard on my stomach, and that's what I was struggling with in Fuerteventura. I had ups and downs, and unfortunately, right before the event, it was a massive down in my stomach, and I could not really sail much the days before, and also the first day of the event, I felt pretty bad. I don't know what. How did you see that coming up?
Well, for me, it was not really a big problem. I didn't really feel so bad in the stomach. But also for you, the first day was, I think, the best of the event for you. So it was not too bad.
Yes,
I think
it's true.
it killed the energy a bit towards the end. So
For me or for you?
yeah, for you.
For me, yeah. Okay, then. Well, let's get into the event. So I would agree with you. For me, it killed the energy a bit in the beginning of the event and at the end of the event.
Like it sucked up quicker, the energy.
Yes, exactly. And also the first day of the event was probably my worst day. So on the first race, you might have seen that in the videos as well. On the first day of the event, I started off with wearing a wetsuit, and then of course we have to wear the impact vest, and on top of that the event lycra shirt. And I got heated so much. Like after that day, I didn't wear any wetsuit anymore, even though I prefer to wear wetsuits for safety. But I just couldn't, because I felt I couldn't breathe. I was so hot and I just felt sick, basically. But I made the best out of it. So just following along a bit the comments as we speak, watching from Corpus Christi, Texas. How's the vibe in the PWA competitions? Are everyone friends? Okay, let's go with that one. How's the vibe in the competitions? Yes, anyway, in a way, you don't have a choice. You have to be friends, because you're in a small group of people that has this strange lifestyle, to keep it simple, to travel to different, like almost a bit like like a circus. You're traveling around.
Yeah.
You have a big tent where you put your stuff in, and everyone shares the same struggles, so that automatically makes you friends. You also have to, of course, you need each other to become faster. You cannot become faster by yourself. You need each other for testing. So in a way, we all get along with each other. Of course, some small groups are forming here and there. The French people are often together in one group, and then you have also groups within the brands mostly.
Yeah.
So
Which makes sense.
Yeah, exactly, which makes sense, because you want to kind of team up and discuss maybe different settings for your sales, for your boards, those kind of things. It's pretty friendly. Obviously, during the competition, some people have moments with others where they, are not so happy about, but normally that gets resolved pretty quickly. Yes, so then we have some more comments. Hi Nico, I'm actually asking you from Canary Islands, Tenerife, and I really want to start the windsurf community. Is there any tip to get started, like classes, rent and buy? Okay, little detour from Fuerteventura. We go from high level competition to where do you start? But I like that connection, because obviously we made a video about that the other day, about the path of windsurfing. How do you get from, hey, I want to start, to, hey, I want to compete? There's obviously
a race.
Exactly. That's a video we recently uploaded, and we connected that to our new app that we launched together with Enrico Marotti, Wind Coach. So how do you get from here to here? Obviously, plenty of YouTube tutorials, etc. And we kind of built a guide that takes you through the learning steps from A to Z, basically.
All the way.
Huh?
All the way.
All the way. But starting is something that requires ideally someone who can guide you, like a lesson. For you, it was your best friend or one of your good friends.
Yeah, I did it with my best friend.
That and he knew how to windsurf and he showed you. But yes, for when you do when you get for the first time on the water, that's not something an app should coach you, because there are certain basics that also safety things that someone should really teach you. So first thing you do when you start windsurfing, go to a school, take a lesson, and afterwards keep renting gear, because depending on how fast you can or how many sessions you can take, you will progress relatively fast and you will upgrade the gear. So if you, after your windsurf course, if you straight away buy a windsurf set, you might outgrow that pretty quickly. So in the beginning, it's wise to just rent gear. Also, maybe you don't even like it. Could also be. So then in that case, you don't want to buy windsurf gear. You want to start with renting. And as you progress and you get more into it, you will then you will then buy your own equipment and arrange the logistics for yourself. And from there, you will of course go and get the Wind Coach app and watch YouTube videos. We speak about the app, the Wind Coach app, a little bit later, because we also had a couple of questions about that before already. So we'll show you later what that is about. But for now, I want to go back through the comments and then back to the. There's a lot of comments actually.
Yeah, I see it. It's really nice to see all the guys here.
Yeah, super nice of you guys. So actually, let's take the detour through the comments. I like that much better than just, stiff, like this is our program, we go through Fuerteventura. No. Fuerteventura, epic event, my best PWA result ever. So we can get back to that when we go into the POV racing. But for now, let's go a bit through the comments. So I hope I answered your questions about starting to windsurf. Then we have...
We just spoke about setting up the equipment. There is someone asking what you do to your gear compared to the base settings, like out of the box, what you change.
Yeah, but well, the question starts at what is the base setting?
The gear, when you get it from Nearpride out of the box.
Yeah, of course.
You unpack it, you unroll it the first time, what do you do?
Yeah. So the not the problem, but the thing is that there is no base setting, because you have straight out of the box, you have already different options of gear settings. And what I recommend most people, so one thing is what I recommend, the other thing is what I do myself. But it depends, of course, on the level and the knowledge you have already on setting up
the personal preference.
And the preference. If you really have no clue, you start on middle positions whenever you can. So foot straps, middle, mass base, middle, sail, downhaul, not a lot, not little, you start in the middle. So we can now go in very, very detail about how to adjust everything. That's going to take us 3-4 hours. That's something we speak a lot about in my clinics and experiences and windsurfing trips. But to keep it fairly simple, what I do, what I'm looking for, this was your question. Your question? No, someone's
question. I just read it out.
Okay. Yeah, he knows, obviously. He's been following along, so he knows more or less what I'm looking for. But what I look for is for the board to release off the water as much as possible to make it efficient, to go fast, but at the same time to feel in control. I think that's logical. That's what everyone wants. What do I do? The first thing I normally do is put the foot straps all the way to the back. That's how I start. So I want foot straps back because I want the board to fly. Because technique wise, I think I already have quite a good control. So I don't need to gain the control from the foot straps being far in the front. Then you have the mass base position, also start quite far in the back. And from there, normally when I need the control, I will start moving, for example, the front strap a little bit further forward. For example, in my big board for light wind, I have the back strap all the way to the back and the front strap also all the way to the back. But on my small board for stronger wind, I have the front strap one hole further forward because I need the control in the strong wind. So I start usually with a lot of lift and a very free board, and then I slowly trim it back to just giving me
Until
enough
it's
control
saleable again.
until it's saleable again. Let's but by now obviously I have lot more experience in where to set things, so already my first setting is quite close to what I look for and what I want. That's to keep it simple. I think we could drift now for hours into this topic. Yeah, a few more questions. When will I come to South America? We would love Chile. Yes, we would love to do an experience in South America.
This would be crazy.
We have never been there, so looking into that. Chile, we have actually someone from Chile coming to Turkey, to the Turkey experience. He was last year in Bonaire as well, and we spoke with him about doing a clinic or experience in Chile at some point. Yeah. Yes, comment on your participation in the Tenerife wave competition. So, wow, it's a lot of comments, and all of them give a lot of topic to talk about, which is amazing. Thank you guys for the comments. So, about the wave competition in Tenerife. So obviously after the competition in Fuerteventura, Lars left back to Germany. He worked hard enough through the nights in Fuerteventura, and I stayed in Tenerife, and I took part in the Wave World Cup in Tenerife. Basically just for fun, because I like wave sailing, and I was around there anyways because my girlfriend lives there, and I just wanted to take part in it. I went out in the first round.
But it was close.
It was pretty close.
It was really
I had a decent
unlucky.
heat. I had a clean back loop. I had a couple of small wave rides. The conditions were marginal, like really light wind, small waves. And I think, not to look for an excuse, but I think that doesn't help with my 100 kilo slalom
really.
body. I was on a 5.5, my biggest wave sail, and a 99 liter board. So it was light, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to do it again. I want to push my wave skills more. So
And if you're around anyways, why not?
exactly. Speaking about doing competitions, before going to Fuerteventura, Lars did a foil competition in Germany. He's obviously mostly on the foil. He has even more weight than me.
Yes.
We weighed him in Fuerteventura. There was a weight scale. Let us know in the comments what's your guess what Lars weighs. That's a good one. What's
But
your guess
maybe-
for Lars's weight?
My guess is they saw the video.
Ah, it's in there, right?
It's in there.
Ah, okay. Well, let's try it anyways. Maybe we will see based on the comments. See, people didn't watch the video.
People didn't watch the video.
Yeah. So I weighed in at 100 kilograms, 100.3 in
Pretty much spot on, yeah.
Pretty much spot on 100. Look at that. 115, 111, 115, 107. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting there. They know that you're tall and heavy.
Some got it right, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuerte was around 119, I think it was.
Yes, he was in 119 point something kilograms. So for Lars, maybe you can say it yourself about slalom sailing and foiling.
Well, the weight helps if it's windy. You can really hang into the sail and go full speed. But as soon as it's getting lighter, you get a lot of other problems because you don't get going, which is really annoying. If most of the fleet is foiling, the race is not cancelled. And I'm standing there on the start line waiting for a gust, which is annoying. But therefore, when it's blowing really hard, I have an advantage there. So
yeah, he has a good speed. He surprised quite some of the pro guys when he was out. I remember in Lake Garda.
it was,
when he probably suddenly rolled up next to Matteo Giacchino, he was like, man, this guy is fast. Who is it? And then it's Lars. So when it's windy, he goes fast. But overall, of course, if you are mostly underpowered, it can be a disadvantage. And of course, guys, speaking about the weight and skill ratio, of course, if you have a high weight, you always need to use bigger gear. But of course, you also need to be able to control the bigger gear. And just because you're heavy doesn't mean you can control it.
no.
You know?
My 8.7 is my most used sail.
Yeah, 8.7 on the foil,
On the
guys.
foil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for him to have a nice fin session, he needs 25 knots.
Nah, 20 is...
But it cannot drop below 20,
yeah,
basically.
it has to be a steady 20 knots.
Yeah. So that's
Or it has to be flat so I can use a big board.
so that's for the weight. That's for the weight. How did we get there actually?
I forgot. Something about competition
Yeah,
we were talking about.
Tenerife wave competition. Okay, let's go through some of them, some of the comments. It's amazing that you asked so many questions. That's so cool. We have 100 people now in the watching live. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It's really fun for us like that.
Someone says it's good for not getting blown away on the beach while filming.
Yes, he's a pretty steady tripod himself. Let's say it like that. Yeah. And then we had the question: do you miss Enrico Marotti on the tour? Will he return? It was very funny. Actually, I just spoke on WhatsApp before the stream with Enrico, and he said we should do a stream together sometime, also to talk about the wind coach. Just quick reminder for those of you guys who don't know, or who just tuned in, we made an app together with Enrico, Wind Coach, which coaches you through all the phases and now has also GPS analysis. So it analyzes your jibes based on your GPS track, and it can give you straight away, instantly, it gives you tips what you did wrong and what you can do better. So that's with Enrico Marotti, obviously former PWA pro, and maybe we do a separate stream about that. But if you want to check it out, wind.coach. Yeah, I think what we can do is maybe a little bit later in the stream, one of you guys will tell us your problem on the water, and we'll walk you through the Wind Coach app with that problem. So we'll insert your problem, because you can ask your specific question in it and get straight away feedback on what to do. We'll do that a bit later. Whether or not Enrico will come back to the tour, he has to say himself. So let's do that. Do you try out each other's gear? Like someone is super stoked on a new piece of kit or something like that. Sometimes we change gear, of course, especially when we develop new equipment, then we have to. If someone is going like super good, then naturally you're a bit curious, and sometimes you ask if you can switch, just to find out if it's in the gear or it's the person. You're just curious, like, am I doing something wrong?
Is it me? Is it the gear?
Is it the gear? Exactly. So yeah, sometimes we switch. Yeah. So, what fin do you recommend for 45 kilogram? That is too general to answer that question. It depends on the board, on the sail size, on the wind. 45 kilograms, pretty small fin probably. Any plans for winter training camps? Too early at this moment, because over the last years we trained in Tenerife all winter. I'm not sure if that training happens again or not, so it's a bit too early to say right now. Yeah. So Chris Jensen, Chris, we know from Bonaire. He's been done the NP7 experience in Bonaire last year, and he will come again this year, so that's amazing. A friend wants to send his son to an NP7 experience in Bonaire. He's never touched a windsurf board. Yes, that works, because we now also have a specific beginner group for Bonaire, because obviously Bonaire is, if you want to get someone into windsurfing, it's the place.
Send him to Bonaire.
Send him to Bonaire. There you can only love it. You obviously in a cold place, gray water, that's always a bit, for some people scary, for some people not fun. But
yeah, and you cannot stay on the water so long, so you make little progress.
Yeah. So Bonaire is the perfect place to send someone, and I would love to have him with us in the group, of course. The heavier guys had trouble getting through the jibes. What's your opinion about that? Tugasti on the buoy, closest to the beach, or just because the conditions were hard? So back to the weight. Do you have problems on the jibes?
I do.
Is it because of your weight or your skill?
Both. I would say more on the skill side, to be honest.
What I can say is, the heavier you are, the better your technique needs to be.
Yeah.
So you need a certain weight. to go fast in all the conditions. But of course, when you're heavier, you need to be more spot on with the jibe. You need to nail the jibes, otherwise when you jibe on a wave, the wave doesn't carry you as much as when you're light. You know, these type of
You
situations.
need to enter with more speed, so you carry the momentum further.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the board sinks faster.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, we have a question. Do you know the speed and jibe secrets of Brandon Lorho, who obviously was in Fuerteventura, a pretty light rider, I think under 80 kilograms, right?
He was under 80, I don't know exact, but I think
just around 80.
It was around it. He made it work.
Yeah, so he's around 80 kilograms, and he obviously went really well.
He was quick.
And of course, there I saw a couple of times his jibes. He just keeps planing longer. So sometimes he would make technically a slower jibe than others. So to shift the sail, it took him more time than some of the other riders, but he just didn't stop. So he carries on longer with less weight. And also in the acceleration, as I said, when you try to stay on a wave, it helps you because you get pushed for longer by the wave, and you can, at least that first bit, you can accelerate a bit better. That being said, he did really, really well considering his weight, especially, of course, for the speed. Yes, you have an advantage in the jibes when you're lighter, but you have a disadvantage in the speed, and he still had a good speed. So that was very impressive. Okay, what's your starting point entering at Fuerte as a base setting, and how do you change it to for the optimum to Fuerte? Yeah, a bit similar to what I explained before. Just usually I try to go in with a free setup, but then yeah, Fuerte is pretty lifty, let's say, because as you go out, you go against the waves, and the gear tends to get out of control. So on Fuerte, there's two different things. I will go into maybe detail about what I did for Fuerte. So for example, I have an old mast from Near Pride that was a bit stiffer, and I have a new mast from Near Pride that's a bit softer. That new mast, the softer mast, worked amazingly until a certain wind limit, until 25, 28 knots. It was amazing, like by far my best mast. And as soon as it went above 30 knots, I had a hard time controlling it, because softer masts keeps the nose higher, and stiffer masts keeps the nose a bit more locked. So actually at some days where I knew it was going to be crazy windy, I switched to my stiffer mast to keep the nose a bit more locked on the water. Those are the kind of things I did. And then you have a similar situation actually with the fins for softer and stiffer fins. I have luckily some prototypes from NP7, our own fins, so I could test around a bit with that. And yeah, why are there no slalom sails below 5.0 for atomic conditions? There are.
It's a 4.9, no?
It's a 4.9 with Near Pride. It doesn't work so well with the board we use, the 62.5, because it's too light on the board. It creates too much lift, it's too light, and it doesn't keep the nose locked. So I tried it 1 year against my 5.6, and in the end the 5.6 was faster even in nuclear conditions.
And there's also a limit of sails you are allowed to use in the competition.
Exactly. So we can register 3 sails for one event, and that was for me 5.6, 6.5, and 7.4.
And you have to cover the whole range of wind you can have.
Exactly.
Well, Fuerte, you never use the different sail than the 5.6, so
yeah,
you could have taken it, but you can never really rely on that. Can happen that you're gonna race with a 7.4.
Yeah.
So you need to have the range of sails there.
That's exactly what's going on, guys. So many comments. I have a hard time keeping up. This is good. if we skip one for whatever reason, and you think it's important,
Just
please
ask it again.
ask it again. Exactly. I really don't want to miss out any of them, because this is exactly what we do this for. Maybe because there were now a couple of questions about the gear setting for Fuerte. We spoke about the technique, about the conditions in Fuerte. Maybe we can go straight into one of the races, and I
100%.
walk you through one of the race, and then after we go back to the questions. Meanwhile, as you open it, do you think there will still be competitions in the future? It feels like the number of competitions is constantly shrinking, and windsurfing as a sport seems to be declining too, in my opinion. I think that windsurfing is not declining at the moment. I think that it's getting maybe more separated into different niches in windsurfing. From multiple sources, I heard that they feel like windsurfing is growing. Maybe it's not growing. I would say it's stagnant from my experience. A lot of people come back into windsurfing after many years, had a break for career reasons, for family reasons, and are now coming back into windsurfing. We see that a lot. Also
in the experiences we hear.
Exactly.
I just restarted 2 years ago. I restarted a year ago, and it's amazing.
Exactly.
So
this is super, super common. And I think that's maybe a good opportunity for the sport. And competition-wise, yes, we don't have so many PWA World Cups anymore. That being said, there are IFCA competitions, there are local competitions, there are long distance races. You know, for example, Maciek Rutkowski just, I think 2 years ago, started organizing a long distance race. So I think that just other things will pop up. It's a shame that we don't have so many PWA World Cups anymore, because the level is just really high. Windsurfing wise and sporting wise, the crew that we have on the water, they are absolute legends. So they are doing a really good job in making the competition happen. So that's sad, but if there is a gap, it will be filled somehow. So I think we will be fine.
and I think it will get better in the future again.
Yeah, we are staying positive. That's the only thing we can do.
Yes.
So
Which race we want to show?
which race we want to show? Let's go into that one maybe.
This one.
Yeah.
You can keep answering some questions
Yes,
while
yes.
I pull it up here.
What's your top speed, Lars? Someone is asking.
On the foil or on the fin? Probably the foil. On the foil, I think my top speed is 31 point something knots.
30?
31 point something.
Okay, cool.
I don't know exactly.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. More than 30 knots.
Still leads to.
If you are in above 30 knots, from my experience, from all the windsurfers I met around the world, I would say you're probably in the top 10% of windsurfers worldwide.
This is crazy.
Yeah, so good job. Nico, congrats with a great result in Fuerte. Tell us about the status of the NP7 fins. Do you have plans to go in production again? Unfortunately, I only have one, fast and control. I agree. I'm using the NP7 fins at the Defi Wind in Fuerteventura, and I'm absolutely happy. In the last live stream, we told you guys we had some problems with the production, but we're getting there. We found a manufacturer, which we have already figured out quite a lot of the things you need to figure out to bring it into production. Not quite there yet, but I'm super, super positive. So I told you guys we're going to keep pushing for that.
And we did.
And we
it
did.
Will come back.
It will come back. We promise you that. We'll come back in great fashion. So,
all right, we got the race here from the helmet perspective.
Yes, so we walk you through the race. Do you remember what kind of race? Was it a final or a semi-final? Or?
This I don't remember.
Okay.
I would have to check it. But
we had this one we chose because there was one tricky situation. We're going into the start here, okay? So as you can see, I have someone below me, downwind of me. This little, if you pause the video here, this mark down there, the orange mark is where the downwind side of the start is. And then on the upwind side, we have the boat. So we are starting downwind in Fuerteventura. Most of the time I started downwind because the pin, this is what we call this orange mark, is more forward than the boat. Obviously, when you start higher upwind, you have to start a little bit behind. Otherwise, it would be unfair, let's say. So that means when you start at the pin, you always start in front. Of course, you technically have the slower course, but you're starting in the front. So if someone wants to be in front of you, they have to overtake you. And of course in Fuerte also, because it's so gnarly and so windy, sometimes it's hard to go deep downwind. So if you start from the boat to get to the first mark, you have to shoot so far downwind that it's almost a bit risky sometimes.
Can be.
Can
It looked looked risky sometimes.
Yes, so I just have one person maybe downwind of me. That's okay for me. Another thing is when you start near the boat or near the mark, you know better where the line is. If you start in the middle of the course, normally the line hangs, as they say. So when you're in the middle of the starting line, you don't know exactly if you're spot on the starting line or not. So yeah, starting at the pin or boat helps. You can see I am in a good position. We have someone upwind of me, as you can see that he had maybe a better start, maybe better speed, and we're going into the first jibe. So if we stop here, maybe we go a little bit back in the video, you can see that I, instead of aiming for the mark, I'm going upwind. Okay, so I could have chosen to keep going with the guys and push downwind straight to the mark, maybe just to stay ahead of one or both of them, or staying next to them, because obviously when you're inside in the mark, you kind of can give the direction of where you want to jibe, because you can yeah, well, they can jibe into you, but it doesn't help anyone. So instead what I'm doing is I'm pushing outside to stay further away from the mark, okay, to enter the mark from far outside and exit it from close inside. What that allows me is to have a good acceleration out of the mark, because as you guys know, also for your jibe, when you do a jibe, you always want to exit the jibe on downwind, because that's what gives you the acceleration. And this acceleration phase after the mark is super, super important for the race. It's always everyone asks, what is the most important part of the race? Of course, you need a good start, you need a good speed, you need a good jibe. But to have a good acceleration can give you such an advantage on the race course.
Yeah, because the front guys on speed-wise, they are really close together.
Yes, we all, if we have a good moment, we all have the speed of each other.
Yes.
Of the other one. Yeah. So going far outside and trying to exit tight. So I'm exiting on the inside of the two of them. And now I have room downwind. You see, it's sometimes can be gusty on the inside. I have room to go downwind. The guys still had a good jibe, so I'm not taking them here. You can see I'm going, can you see the waves here? I'm going against the rolling swell that's coming towards me. And that's the difficult part here in Fuerteventura. And on top of that, you have the chop from the side with the wind. And that combination is, especially here on the outside jibes, is so hard to manage. Then we have Ingmar here, who's coming on the inside. So that was a sketchy situation. And maybe I didn't even see him here because you have to understand that, of course, you're also at your physical limit. So you push as hard as you possibly can. And sometimes you look around and you can miss things. And of course, you don't want that. The more awareness skill you have, the better, because you want to always know what's going on. I'm not sure if I saw him here. He probably did. He arrived pretty late to the first jibe and took the long way around. So he entered tight and exited wide, because right now he's coming here again.
He's right behind your sail now.
He's right behind my sail. I'm going into the jibe from a little bit behind the mark, because again, I want to come out with speed on the mark. And he's just maybe seeing that gap that I leave, and thinks that if he can squeeze in between and jibe at the same time with me, he can gain an advantage from that. And maybe even if I had seen him, I can still choose, okay, am I closing the gap? Am I going close to the mark so he cannot go inside? Or do I let him go inside, but then I should still come out with better speed? So that's what's happening here now. You will see that. And if you stop it right when he's on top of me, you can see that the only reason we don't touch is because my board is on top of his one. If you go, you can see that he literally passes under my nose. So that's how tight it sometimes gets in those races. We just don't touch each other, but that's because I saw him. I shift my weight a little bit to the back. The nose rises a little bit. We don't touch. everything stays sort of clean without touching. But of course, now I'm exiting tight on the mark and he's exiting much wider. Now what I need to do is I need to cover him off. You can see I'm shooting straight downwind. I'm shooting straight downwind. I want to make sure that he stays in my bad air behind me. So what I could do is stay above. So where these guys go, I can stay more upwind. But I want to make sure that he stays behind me. I know he exits wide. So I want to accelerate down on him and stay in front of him. And that's how I can ensure that here. He, on the other hand, is probably right. Yes, if you go back, you can see that's his only option. If he wants to have a chance at me, he has to go really deep and really downwind, which is what he's doing here. Yeah, there you can see him. That's his only chance. If he starts going upwind, he knows for sure he's behind me, and so he has to try to go downwind and squeeze below me. And that creates a situation for me that this time I want to make sure he doesn't squeeze inside me again, because now I clearly see him. You can see I'm looking around, just a small look just to make sure where he is just before the jibe. And now I know I have to stay maybe tight on the mark, because otherwise he will do the same. And yeah, in this case maybe he's a little bit further behind than before, but let's play it. Let's see how it goes on the jibe. Actually, I don't even remember, but I'm just assuming, yeah. So I'm not leaving him the space this time, as you can see. And therefore, that's the risk I have. If you can stop it here, the risk is, okay, now I didn't exit tight and I end up right behind these guys and I don't have clean air. But neither does he probably. Behind me, he also doesn't have clean air. But this is the risk, and you always have to weigh off the risks and the advantages you can take out of a situation. And in this case, I think it was probably enough. I probably keep him behind me. If we keep playing the video, then we will see how the rest of the race goes. I hook back in. I make sure I get back into the clean wind. Yeah, he's behind me. Just a quick check, Again, just playing it safe. I'm shooting downwind here because for sure he goes downwind. That's his only chance. And I'm just making sure that he stays behind me.
And this is not a final, so you just have to be in the top 4.
Okay. Yeah, so yes, right, that's not a final. Here's the jump, looking for a chop. Quick and easy over it. You see the guys there on the boat. Quick check behind to make sure he's not there this time. Clean jibe. I have 2 guys behind me, so this kind of situation can change so quickly. So if you check back, the first 4 advance for the next round. 2 are in front of me, I'm the 3rd, and then there's 2 guys behind me, the 4th and the 5th. So if I do a mistake here, of course, that's it, and I'm not in for the next round. So you see there's 2 guys. Actually, Ingmar got overtaken here by the guy on the 0.7 sail. So I'm not sure what he did wrong here, but maybe the last outside jibe he did, like going wide, cost him that place. Probably that guy went inside on him. So in this kind of situation, okay, I'm already on the new tag. It's pretty safe. In this kind of situation, normally I do a relatively easy jibe, not risk anything, because I know on the straight, most likely they will not get me. And and then I'm like this, energy level done. All out. It was like that every single heat we did, and you have to imagine that we do 3 heats per round. So we had 12 eliminations.
11. 12 would have been the 3rd discard.
So
you never got.
Yes, exactly. So 33 races like that, and each one of them you have to push to the max, because even in the first round, if you don't push, you're not gonna make it through the round. So
is there something you can compare it to? Like if you do a sprint, how long is the sprint? If you do a running sprint, what would you say?
a running sprint?
You're just sprinting on a whatever track down the street.
I didn't have a watch here, but I did track races before, and you're pretty much just after the race start, or already at the race start sometimes, you're on 95% of your max pulse for the whole race.
That's not what I mean. I mean, if you do a running race,
Yeah.
you run 400 meters as fast as you can, or 800 meters, or a kilometer. Like, what's the equivalent to a race?
Well, however long, however far 3.5 minutes get you.
I think it's exactly the same. Like if you run 3.5 minutes full power, it's the same.
Probably yes.
Probably.
It depends how. Yeah.
For me, it feels harder.
This feels harder than
windsurfing.
running.
Yeah, because it's more. You use more of your body. I feel more exhausted after going 3.5 minutes full speed on the windsurfer than I feel 3.5 minutes on running by foot. It's just for me. I was just curious.
Yeah. I understand. I think the challenge with windsurfing is that we need our senses more. In running, it's like such a repetitive movement, but in windsurfing, you're exhausted, and on top of that, you need all your senses to
You need to think fast.
You need to think fast. So it's a weird combination, no? Maybe that adds to the exhaustion in windsurfing. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
It says maybe 800 and 1,500 meter on a day, and that's freaking hard. Yeah.
Someone's asking about the rules.
Which rules?
The rules during a race. If it's like a sailboat competition or that's.
Yeah. So
if people don't know, you can explain it.
PWA racing, we have a format, no rules. So that means just no dangerous sailing. You cannot, attack someone on purpose or crash on someone on purpose. There is judges who observe that. They observe the races. We had even a situation in.
There were multiple.
Obviously, we can show the situation with Bruno. So when he crashed in on me, that was under investigation for dangerous sailing. In the end, it was not deemed as dangerous sailing, but that's just it's just subjective by the judges. They say that, and that is, of course, to reduce the protest time. So in the past, they had a lot of protest hearings and protest time, and they just decided to get rid of the rules altogether. And then in other race series, like in the IFCA, you have some rules, but they also heavily got simplified over the last years. Yeah.
You want to go straight to the situation, or we want to watch the whole race?
Yeah, go through a little bit through the race, and then we can see. Obviously, I don't know if you guys can see it, but here, the conditions are a lot harder than in the other race. So in the afternoons, we usually had harsher conditions because the tide came.
You can see how the board is flying.
The tide went down, and you can see the chop from the side, the rolling swell. It's just flying everywhere. It's harsh. And then, of course, in the afternoon, also always the wind picked up. So in the morning, it was always a bit lighter. We have Matteo in front of me. We have Maciek rolling me here from the top. Same situation as before. I go upwind. I try to take the inside. They both do a decent jibe. So everything under control. Here, again, we just need to qualify for or was it a final? No.
I don't think so.
Qualification, no?
It was
we just need to qualify. So we just need to be in the top 4. Probably I have someone here behind me again who's pushing downwind. So again, I'm pushing downwind as well, just to make sure they stay behind me. And they got my... you have to screw your opponent's races, basically. You want to make sure they have a bad race, you have a good race. I think that's a final.
Maybe that's a final.
Yeah, that's
when I see the people in there.
That's a final, yeah. And then, of course, this is maybe already the situation.
No, one drive later.
Yes. So here's the situation where Bruno crashes into me. Like I said, you are on the max, you're on the limit, right? This is the final. You have to give it your all. You are on the highest pulse you can imagine. Sometimes when I go into the jibe, I feels like I'm not even looking straight anymore because it's you're so exhausted. And of course, so that's probably the same for Bruno. And he did a misjudgment here. We keep it playing. And I took the inside and he saw a gap that wasn't there. He was also afterwards, he screamed to me, why do you stop in the jibe? So he expected me to keep planing. I didn't plane through the jibe because I chose to go around tight instead of staying on the wave and going lower, so going more downwind. That sometimes you have to choose between that. You have the guys behind you, so you cannot stop and wait for the wave. You have to go for it. So my choice was, okay, inside. I know maybe I'm not going to make it planing through, but at least I'm on the inside. He expected a different outcome from me, so he expected to plane through it.
Well.
And
we can play it again with some sound.
What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing, man? I do the jibe how I want, man. What the fuck?
well, that's my response. Of course, like I said, you scream at each other on the race, but also afterwards he said sorry to me, and I said no problem, because
Happens.
it's just
Racing.
how it goes. It's racing. But yeah, I also my response is I jibe how I want. So I obviously, if I don't plane through the jibe, that shouldn't be I shouldn't be punished for that by being crashed into.
Of course not.
Yeah, and then straight back onto the reach. But you have to continue. You cannot waste too much time on it.
Because can still be people behind you,
Yeah.
which makes a difference in the result in the end. So
Exactly. Every point counts, guys. I cannot run 1 or 2 hours at 90%. No way. I can windsurf. I can for windsurf, but it's what I have for years of focus training, and I still do not know how the athletes have energy for a day 2, let alone multiple. Yeah, it's the thing is that this is what competition does to you. Also, you go well beyond what you could normally do, and at least that's how it is for me. I would never, if it was free sailing, I would never be able mentally to do that. Like
this is some different state of mind you're in as soon as you enter the competition.
exactly, and that's maybe a good link to the mindset, guys. Please feel free to drop your comments, and also I remind you, please, if we didn't answer your comments before, ask them again so we can go back into it. But yes, it's windsurfing has a lot to do with mindset, first of all, because we know how frustrating it is. So if you are a windsurfer at a certain level, you have a certain type of mindset and you're a certain kind of person, because otherwise you would have never gotten there. In a competition, at least for me and also for some of the other athletes I speak to, you switch off. You go in, I don't know, I like to refer to it as robot mode. You don't question things.
You just do it.
You just do it. Exactly. So, of course, sometimes it comes back, this questioning, and you have to deal with that. That's part of the mental challenge of a competition. Like, why do we have to do another race, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, and that's also something I had to learn over the years, sometimes you don't agree with the race director. Sometimes you don't like that you crashed or whatever. It doesn't matter. And you cannot change it anyways. So you just switch and like, okay, I do what I've been told. I do what I have to do. And
we saw that in one of the videos as well, where you complained a little bit.
yeah, but that's maybe a bit my general perspective on the racing format. But yeah, it was the last day and they kept pushing for more and more races. And, you know, I get their perspective. That's sort of the brief they have. But my criticism was more maybe the general racing format.
I'm already quite happy they reduced it to 2 races or 2 eliminations a day, which makes things easier.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for him, looking at the editing, he's happy the less races and eliminations we do, because it's less job in the night. So he has, I think maybe per each elimination you have 1 hour more of sleep, something like that.
Yeah, to do the edit of 1 elimination takes me about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So saving that 2.5 hours
Each night
makes a difference.
Yeah.
Someone's asking how fast you are sailing here. You can play it again and you can have a guess.
Yeah, make a guess. I mean, like I said here, I wasn't, I didn't wear a GPS watch. I'm gonna get one again now for the Wind Coach app, because I want to be on the ranking. So I'm gonna get it back, and I also want to analyze my races and my testing a bit more. But I know the speeds I do here. So, but you can see I'm completely out of control. You see how wavy and choppy it is there. It's like boiling water. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like boiling water.
Yeah, you cannot predict anything really. You just have to take it as it comes.
And look how these guys jibing. They look like beginners. And like if you go back, I mean, I'm not talking bad about the guys because it's
They're
the same
all-
for me. But you know, like you arrive to the last mark, you have nothing left, and you have to jibe in boiling water. I mean, it's just, it's insane. Look, they're all crashing, falling, stopping. Luckily, I came through well here, but yeah, it's just crazy. So what do you think? 36 knots we hear here. I can tell you one thing. On the last reach, you do significantly less speed than on the
First one.
first one. And especially then on the way out. Yeah. 110 viewers. So nice, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Already 1 hour in. And we have the comments going. What is your guess, guys? What do you think? What speed we do here on the race course? That's the last reach. Way more choppy than the first one.
Yeah, it gets more down the course.
Down the course, and you're more exhausted. On the
Not
other
a good
hand,
combination.
yeah, exactly. Which gear did you use in Fuerte? Only your MP7 fins. 62.5, 5.6 and 6.5 as well. What's the difference in trimming for Fuerte conditions? The difference between starboard and Fortec? Yes, so I used my NP7 fin. Actually, I had one setup. Apart from the mast change that I told you about, I used in every single race the 5.6, in every single race the 62.5 slalom board. So that's my smallest registered gear, and my 32 centimeter MP7 fin. It was a crazy race. So that's the only setup I used. What do you do different for Fuerte? What I explained earlier with the mast. So for the really, really crazy conditions, I used a stiffer mast. For the little bit less crazy conditions, I used a bit of a softer mast. What else? I mean, otherwise, I brought two 62.5. Obviously, you always have minor production differences when the boards come that can have an effect on how high and how low the board is on the water. Actually, I did a bit of a mistake there, I have to say. I tested the two boards, and the one that felt a bit higher above the water was better on my 6.5. So I registered that one, and I ended up not using the 6.5. So the other board, the other 62.5 I didn't register, would have been better for the conditions because it was more locked on the water. So for the 5.6 and those conditions, I actually I think it cost me a little bit. It cost me, especially on the long distance races. I could have done much better with the other one. Back to the speeds. We have here guesses 35. I'm assuming that's knots. 40 kilometers per n.
Kilometers per knot.
Per knots. 40 kilometers. I think it's knots. Also 40 knots, 34 to 36, 34, 34 to 35 to 40.
Pretty good guesses.
Those are good guesses. So we are, if we have a good day, like a high tide, relatively flat water with strong wind, we can go to 36, maybe 37-ish. If it's like a really flat day, if you get a choppy day, it could also be just 33.
There's not many guys wearing GPS watches actually.
No?
The only reference I have, because Ben was asking around for the stream, is that Pierre Mortefon said he did like 37 point something on one of the reaches as his max speed.
There you have it. That's as fast as it gets.
So
Yeah. So yeah, do we all wear helmets? Yes, helmets are mandatory, and impact vests are mandatory too, because it's mostly for the other guys. It's not so much for yourself. It's mostly to make sure that you're safe when safe. It's mostly in case you crash with others. So before we were not wearing helmets and also not impact vests, and it was never a big
it came
problem.
through the foiling, basically.
It came through foiling. When we competed fins against foil, it became mandatory, and then they kept it, which I think is good.
It's a good idea, yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Because fins are fucking sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's never really been a big accident like in the last years, except Jordi.
In the last few years, no,
Nothing really happened.
no big
Which
accidents
is crazy.
with others colliding in each
Yeah,
other.
this never really
This,
had,
no.
like sometimes you collide, but it's not.
Not too
Crazy.
much happens. Yeah, exactly. Most slalom sailors have their front hand upside down. I used to do it in the past, but after a few years of wave sailing, I got used to both hands on top. Is it a bad thing or for slalom sailing? Is this a bad thing for slalom sailing? Normally, the front hand gives you more lift because you can push up a bit easier than when you have it like this, because then you kind of have to pull, and like this, it's a push. So it gives you more lift, and on the hand from the top is more control. That being said, for me, and that's maybe a bit the personal preference, I put the hand like this because I can also actually lock in a bit better and keep the board better on control. So normally, I don't know, can you go in front of the race? Normally I have it before the start, I probably have it on top. And then just before the start, yeah, you can see here, just before the start, I usually switch this way around. And I might also have it on the top on the way out. But let's go to the start. Yeah, this is just before the start.
That's already switched.
It's already switched. If you go a bit further forward, is it not switched?
No, it's also switched.
This is on the way out. But here you see, for example, I put it, it's exactly the moment where I put it on the top. That's probably to keep more control, because on the way out, the board lifts up like crazy. And like this, you can keep it a bit more.
It's a super quick tuning thing if you need a difference in the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I also noticed over the years that is quite a lot personal preference.
Yeah. I also do it from below.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it more.
No pun intended. Okay, what else we have? More questions? Any foil dedicated clinic for Bonaire to stick to the deeper side of the bay? Yeah, not for us. We're doing it we're on the shallow side. So, but you can come next year to Lake Garda and Croatia. We're doing an experience with Enrico in Croatia, and he's probably also coming to Garda with us. And both of those spots are deep, so it's perfect for foiling. Paul.
Garda is amazing for foiling.
Paul, we know who you are. You should come. Yeah. Yeah, remember the split of the fin helmet of Ritis, I think. I don't know if it was Ritis, but I do remember that in the slalom training in Tenerife, someone split the
but
was
it on the fin or was it on the foil? Tim, you know this.
I think it was on the foil.
This is Tim. This is the friend who taught me windsurfing.
Yeah. Okay. More questions, guys. Again, there were some good questions in the beginning, which I couldn't cover all of them. Please, if we didn't answer them, put them here again. We are going to answer them. And then apart from that, maybe you can ask us some questions about technique. Like, I need like 1 or 2 questions about the technique, about, I don't know.
Or a problem you have.
A problem you have while windsurfing, technique related. So we're going to put it into the Wind Coach app together with you, and we're going to see the answer straight away. So you can get your answer straight from the source, so to say. You can see how it works. But I think otherwise we covered most of the topics. We spoke about the gear, we spoke a bit about the races, the technique. And of course, we spoke a lot also in between about the experiences. If you want to join us in Bonaire, we have the link down below. We have 2 more links down below. I don't know if there are any Turkish people joining and watching right now, but we are going in 2 days. We're going to Turkey for the MP7 experience in Turkey. There is a Turkish national race in Alaçatı where we're going. And on the weekend before, so this coming weekend, I'm doing for the youth and the juniors, I'm doing a workshop for racing, for the race. I want to prepare you for the race because in Turkey there are so many youth and junior sailors. So the link is below this video. Check it out. It doesn't matter which club you are in, you can join us. Super, super cool. I'm looking forward to work with the youngsters. That's always the best. And then if we have any Americans watching that want to go to the OBX festival, in Outer Banks, we also have something special below. It's a quick journey about something we're planning over there. So please check it out while we're waiting for the comments. Okay, we have from Pavel. Good to see you, Pavel. So nice that there are some people who I know in person and that we can do this with. During the jibe, how much do you lean forward into the turn versus sitting like on a stool, trying to find the balance point? Any red flags to watch out for? To see if I'm too far back versus too far forward. So how can we get this question into here? Can you copy it straight into the...
No.
We have what we have here is the Wind Coach app.
Wait, I still have to show it.
Just type wind.coach in your browser and you'll get there. We have now over 700 users, which is incredible. It's super cool. And we got some really, really good feedback. The people, we have to tune it. We're working on it every day. We're super excited. And we'll do another stream with Enrico sometime, but it's working really well. And we're working on it every day to improve it. And for the people who put the work in, it's actually working. So it's an app that coaches you, it creates training plans for you, and it uses only our information. So it only uses what Enrico and I have put into the database. It's not using random information from the internet. And whatever question you answer, whatever question you ask, it will use the information we have put in the system. So we have the training tab. So if you go on training, obviously this works really well on your phone as well. Not yet an Apple App Store app. It's a web app, so to say. Right now we have Lars's account here, and we have his training plan basically for building the speed. You always have 2 focus points, so not focus on too many different things at the same time. And you can plan your next session. So when you go on the session, you will get it will tell you exactly what you do next. So if you go to the plan your next session, maybe you can say generate my plan. If you already had a plan for your next session, it will show you up your plan again. And if you haven't, then
Maybe it's because I'm not so much on the fin.
Are you on your fin session?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm on the fin.
Okay. So nothing new since your last plan. So you haven't logged any new sessions.
Yes.
It only updates when you log your session, of course. And it will tell you exactly what you have to do this time, what you did wrong last time, and what to improve. Then, of course, we have the mental compass, as I told you earlier. Really important what's going on in here. So that's actually a very often used feature on this app, as we can see. You have some photo guides. We're working on improving that, of course. We also want to bring videos into it. And this is his training plan. Then, of course, we have the chat, the coach, where you can ask your questions and you will get answers to your questions, which is, for example, what we can do now with what Pasha asked. So Pasha asked about during the jibe. Let's see, where was that? During the jibe, how much do you lean forward into the turn? Into the turn, exactly, versus sitting like on a stool. S-T-O-O-L-L. So, genau. And then, any red flags as a question?
Let's see what we get.
Here you go. These are your quick answers.
I will quickly move us somewhere else.
Okay.
So you can see what it writes.
Okay, so Pasha, lean into the turn while keeping your hips low as if sitting on a stool. This helps maintaining control and balance throughout the maneuver. And then, of course, you get the why. Leaning into the turn directs the board effectively, while sitting posture keeps your center of gravity low. So it's exactly as you were already saying, it's a balance. You have to lean in, but you also have to lean low. If you lean too much without staying low, you might lose balance. So that's leaning in and being straight, of course. That's what we don't want. So proper posture during the jibe is crucial for a smooth sail transition and quick return to planing. Red flags, you ask for the red flags. Watch out for an upright posture or extending your legs too much, as these can destabilize your stance and lead to errors. So this is, of course, you can go much more into detail. You can ask follow-up questions.
You can ask for pictures.
Yes, so here you get some pictures. You can click into them and you will exactly see. So lean forward. You can see exactly the graphics here on NICO. Lean forward, but stay low. Now all this is on racing equipment, but it still applies for free riding. And of course, we are working on updating that stuff. So that's how it works. I hope that this helped a little bit, already speaking straight away about some technique. And I think this is actually a very common problem to basically master the jibe, which every windsurfer wants to learn. And this is the wind coach app. It's working pretty well. It also does GPS analysis now, as we said before.
Let's show that one as well, because it's really cool. Yeah, I have from the foil, but it's pretty much the same.
This is guys, this is amazing. This is really freaking cool. I have to take care not to curse because it's so cool. So you upload your session. We cannot track yet in Wind Coach, but we're working on that. You're going to be able to track in it for free completely. You get your analysis of all your session, but not only do you get an analysis, you also get immediate pointers on what to do differently. So all these training insights that you just saw, all these answers, it connects it straight to what you're doing on the water. So this is Lars's account, as we said. You have the speeds,
the stats,
all the standard speeds. We have some ranking now as well, so you can rank against the others. It's so cool to see as the community is growing. You have some really important. Remember how I spoke about the acceleration after the jibe, how much of a difference this can make? Here you have acceleration from 7 to 15 knots, from 15 to 20. These are stats that really matter, you know. And we have rankings for all of those. These are Lars's jibes. If you click into one of them, you will see.
Let's take a bad one.
Let's take a bad one. Yeah, you stayed flying, but it was not a good one. And then I guess, can you click another one? Yeah, here you can see the radius of the jibe. You can see where it went wrong. It already explains you a more open line, bearing off downwind before and after, carry speed throughout a gentler arc. So he carved around too tight.
Too hard in the end.
Then you also have your coach's read, right?
Yes.
Ask again. So this is the analysis that it gives you.
A lot to read, but it really helps. You get some really good pointers there.
Exactly. So all this connects to the app. Okay, I think enough of advertising, but it's cool stuff because it's technique, and we love to talk about windsurfing technique. It's what I do all day in my experiences and coachings, and of course I love windsurfing and I love the technique of windsurfing and I love to speak about it. So sorry about that. We still have almost 100 people watching, so it seems like it wasn't too boring. We're gonna take a few more questions here, and then we're already almost 1.5 hours in. So we have some more questions. We have one question maybe directly related to that. What are the monthly costs of the coaching app? So right now we have 2 monthly tiers, depending on how much usage you have, because of course every question you ask has some direct costs for us. So it's related to how many questions you can ask. The 2 different tiers. We have a basic, we have a premium. Basic right now is 10 euros a month. The other one is 20 euros a month, and we're also working on some yearly options because we have good plans. For the winter, we want to integrate windsurfing fitness, so you can do your fitness program during winter to stay fit, different kind of things. So it's keeps working. So what I want to ask,
we had a question. Hey Nico, I wanted to become a professional windsurfer. How did you get there, and the sponsors that help you, and how did you become famous on YouTube? Because in the beginning, everything goes full circle.
Full circle
We
moment.
had someone asking about how to start out. Then we watched my race videos from the World Cup, and of course, what's the path from here to here? That's
It's a long way.
on one hand, it's the technique. You need to improve your technique. On the other hand, of course, there is this dream of being a professional windsurfer, which I had when I was a kid. And I mean, it sounds strange to say famous on YouTube. I don't like to look at it like that. We just like to make videos. I always like to make videos and to not drift for half an hour or an hour into this topic. This also can be a completely separate stream, just this topic. But do what you love. So it sounds a bit shitty, but I didn't.
Cheesy.
Yeah, we didn't start YouTube because we wanted to live from it. Let's say, this is at least for me. I liked to make videos. I liked when I was 10 years old. I was already editing videos of myself. He showed me his first videos. He made videos with his GoPro from his skiing trips.
Yeah.
So
Just running around, capturing the moment, and it was fun.
it's just a passion.
Yeah.
It's a passion, and if I had unlimited resources and I could do for the rest of my life what I wanted, probably it would involve making videos in some way.
Windsurfing and making videos.
Windsurfing and making videos. So if you love what you do and you don't necessarily expect something out of it, which doesn't mean you can't work to get something out of it, but if you don't expect something out of it, that helps a lot, because then you enjoy the journey a lot more.
Yeah, you need to make it because you have a passion for it.
Exactly. So I hope that's just a short question. So hey guys, thank you. Yes. So we have one. We also take criticism. We take every question. Tried the app and looking for a different answer to question 1. Where are you on the water right now? Missing answer, relearning windsurfing after a very long break. Yeah, exactly. So that's I think related to, okay, what profile, what kind of a person are you? Where are you in your journey? The relearning one, this we know, coming back into windsurfing is a very big group of people right now. Whether you started again 2 years ago, 1 year ago, or you're just getting back into it, we hear you. There are YouTube videos, there's the app. And I'm so glad that you're coming back into the sport, because it's going to give you a lot. It will bring back your childhood dreams or your youth dreams and memories. So yeah, coming back into the windsurfing, best decision you could have made. We have a lot of you guys in our experiences, in our clinics, and yeah, kind of help you to get you back into the modern equipment. Because obviously back then
It changed a lot.
It changed a lot. More narrow boards, heavier equipment, things changed. So yes.
Did you try the Windsurfer LT?
Yes, I tried the Windsurfer LT, and you know it exactly, because look, he has the badge #1 fan.
So he has to know.
Yes, because I used his Windsurfer LT. He's the one I did the old school video with.
The really old one.
Yes, exactly.
Because I just remembered that recently you did some race against Jordi at Surf Center.
Oh yeah, there also. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Windsurfer LT can be fun. You don't always need to do the highest speed and do the best slam jibes. So yeah, Windsurfer LT is fun. Also the current one, I tried it. Yeah, as you said with Jordi, they are doing they are remaking this board.
I've just tried the board so far, not with the sail.
As a sub, or?
Because they had it in a surf school where I was like learning, and it's good to get a feeling for the bit more speed, and it glides easily.
Yeah, it's easy. It's
really easy.
You don't need a lot of wind to get some speed on it. So yeah,
I forgot about it.
Cool. Thank you guys for your comments. Amazing. So yeah, we went through a lot of stuff today. I think we will do this again, because you guys are amazing. it makes it so much easier when there are comments, when there's interaction, when you guys speak with us, you guys speak with each other. That makes it more fun, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We have 100 people now on a Monday evening.
And it's way more direct. I mean, people are asking questions in the comments and we try to answer them, but I think this is way nicer.
Exactly,
It's really
exactly.
nice.
And we also, maybe in the future we can work on showing a bit more stuff on the screen related to your questions as well, so to make it more interactive. Where to hear when the next live stream. This is good. How do you stay connected? I posted on Instagram, I posted on Facebook. Sometimes I posted on the newsletter. If you are in the newsletter, I just don't want to bother you too much in your email inbox. So I don't want to put it there for every live stream, but maybe I'll start doing that.
We posted on WhatsApp.
We posted on our WhatsApp chat, so that's a link below. My girlfriend asked, how can you get the crown as the number one fan? You have to ask that to Thomas, who has the badge for the number one. Probably he left the most comments. Yeah, and below this video, because I just get the question, there is the link to the Turkey racing clinic for juniors and youths for this weekend. And if you're from the US, you're considering to go to OBX Festival, check it out as well. And we are back here on YouTube soon again with videos from Mauritius
and Madagascar.
You can look forward to those. That was pretty epic. They're coming, probably around this weekend. So yeah, and thank you to all over the world, to every one of you, because I just really hope you come to Hood River, Columbia, George. This is maybe my number one bucket list, Hood River. I really want to come there. I always tell them about it, that I want to go there. So I want to come and see. And we're going to end up seeing all of you guys, because we travel so much, and part of the traveling and the fun for us is to meet all of you guys. So we go to all the windsurf hotspots in the world, and we're ticking them off the list one by one. And the best thing about it is meeting you guys. And
so amazing.
Yes. So we're gonna end up seeing all of you in person one day, and we're gonna windsurf with you. That's 100%. Our goal. 100%. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep in touch, and we see us coming weekend.
See you coming weekend. Bye bye.